being here this morning.
How are you, Jonathan?
Good, thanks. So, Mayor Giuliani, why were you working with a Russian agent to interfere in the 2020 election?
I wasn't working with a Russian agent. That's a very deceptive description.
But I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, but the Treasury Department sanctioned him just last week, just a few days ago, in calling him a known Russian agent.
But I wasn't working with him. I was interviewing him. There's a big difference between working with someone and interviewing. And also, it was long after I had completed my report on the Ukrainian crimes that were committed. I had submitted that 5 months earlier to the State Department. So Durkash played no role in that, not a single bit. Nor does he have any evidence about Joe Biden. The evidence that he has is all secondary. He read the prosecutor's report, so he's a useless witness for that point of view. But he did provide evidence about $5.3 billion in foreign aid that's unaccounted for in Ukraine, $3 billion of which is American money, for which 2 people have already been indicted by the Ukrainian government. And I have no reason to believe that's untrue, but unaccounted for. The Ukrainian government had covered it up under Poroshenko, who was a well-known crook. That's why he got dismissed in the election, virtually destroyed. And right now, for the first time, there may be a chance we can recover that money. They just indicted 2 people that are very close to George Soros. They actually work with George Soros.
Mayor Giuliani, I need to...
embezzled about 150... But how come we're not covering the Mueller tapes that were wiped out?
Mayor Giuliani, I'm going to pull you out of the weeds and out of the conspiracy theories. I need to talk to you about Durkash.
I'm going to stay where I am because we're going to try to have fair coverage. Well, Durkash has nothing to do with Biden.
No, Mayor Giuliani, can you please explain the nature?
I did not know he was a Russian agent.
How could you not know? How could you not know, Mayor Giuliani?
How could I not know?
You're a former prosecutor from the Southern District of New York, a former mayor of New York City. You have a national security firm. Right. How could you not know that this person you were talking to was a known Russian agent who graduated from KGB schools?
I have seen... Jonathan, calm down.
Answer the question.
Do not have access... Don't yell at me, Jonathan. That isn't dignified. Pretend to give fair coverage. Pretend. I know you won't cover the obstruction of justice by the 12 Mueller prosecutors who wiped their phones clean.
Mayor Giuliani, we are talking about a Treasury...
You're talking about an irrelevant subject.
It's not an irrelevant subject because you have had dealings with him. You met with him at least 3 times last year.
Dealings mean I do... You see the loaded words you use? I haven't had dealings with him.
You just said in the first answer...
I interviewed him 3 times. It's on tape. You can go listen to it. You interview a lot of people.
I do, and I'm trying to interview right now. Can I just ask you a question about the Treasury Department's investigation into Durkash?
Sure.
Did you cooperate with that investigation? Did you cooperate with the Treasury Department's investigation into Durkash?
I have no knowledge of it. They never told me about it. They never asked me about it. I haven't even read the report, so I don't know what's in the Treasury Department investigation, nor have I ever seen any evidence that he is or he is not a Russian agent. So I don't know anything about that. I can tell you I interviewed him 6 months after I completed my investigation that I submitted to the State Department. He is not in that investigation. And I concluded when I interviewed him, including on my podcast, that he doesn't have any relevant evidence with regard to Biden, but he does have a report that could be very useful to us in recovering $3 billion. So far, some part of that report has been verified by the Ukrainian government. That's what I know about Durkash. You can ask me 50 million ways.
I do want to ask you.
Now let's move on to a useful subject.
So did anyone in the Trump administration advise you to
accidentally?
Did anyone in the Trump administration warn you to not meet with Andre Durkash?
No, no one in the intelligence community or the
State Department
administration. Sometimes there's no one ever warned me not to meet with him.
No one ever warned you. Did you discuss?
And it was long after.
Mayor Giuliani, did you discuss with the president your meetings with Andre Durkash?
I can't tell you, Jonathan, without getting disbarred, what I discussed with the president. He's my client. I can tell you that it was long after we submitted all the evidence we had that Joe Biden was bribing the president of the Ukraine.
Wait, so you did talk to the president about this?
And that he's taken money from Iraq, that he's taken money, his family has made millions in Iraq, millions in Ukraine, and multiple millions in China, selling his
Mayor Giuliani, I'm trying to be,
I'm trying to, common criminals.
Mayor Giuliani, I'm trying to be fair to you because you just said that
no, you're not being fair to me.
No, I'm trying to ask. I'm trying to follow up a question with you. You just said that the president. You said that you didn't talk to the president until after your investigation was completed. So you did talk to the president about. No,
I didn't say that.
I didn't. No, that's why. That is why I'm asking the follow-up question.
I didn't say.
So when you talked to the president, did the president instruct you to go back to Derkash?
I can tell you he didn't instruct me to go back to Derkash. Yes, he never instructed me on Derkash at all. And what I'm trying to tell you to help give you an answer that I'm allowed to give as an attorney is my questioning of Derkash occurred long after the facts about Biden's bribery were submitted to the State Department, as well as the Democrat collusion with the Ukrainian government to develop false evidence against Trump and people in the Trump campaign. I have a big, long outline of that. I submitted that to Secretary Pompeo in March of last year. First time I met Derkash was in late November of last year, and I met him on television, and I've interviewed him 3 times, and they're all a matter of public record. They're all. We're not communists, Jonathan.
Mayor Giuliani, have you ever paid or facilitated payments to Derkash for any information, or vice versa?
No, I don't pay people for information, John.
Okay.
You know me long enough to know I wouldn't do that. I was the U.S. You covered me when I was mayor and U.S. attorney. You know I'm not a dishonest person.
Okay. So you know what, Mayor Giuliani, I'm glad you brought that up. Because I have covered you since my early days on the New York Daily News editorial page. And as I mentioned, you made your name as the SDNY federal prosecutor. You were mayor of New York City twice. 19
and it was much better when I was mayor, right?
Well, the person who succeeded you made it even better, and that was Mayor Bloomberg.
He did. No question about it. I turned it around, and he made it better. You're
I'm sorry, Mayor Giuliani.
And the guy who's running it now is ruining it.
No. My point here
you admit that, right? The guy who's running it now is ruining it.
The idea that a former federal prosecutor of SDNY, former 2-term mayor of New York City, a person who has a national security firm, I'm trying to understand how someone of your stature and career, what happened to you, Mayor Giuliani? Why are you out here spinning conspiracy theories and lies and interfering with an American election? What happened to you?
I'm not interfering with an American election. Indicting Steve Bannon is interfering with an American election, but that's okay. But putting out a report that
around the world trying to find evidence, and you're not finding any that can't be debunked by fact checkers all over the country,
absolutely
trying to undermine the Democratic
MSNBC
presidential nominee.
And you cover it up. I am not. I was defending my client, Donald J. Trump, against false charges that have been proven to be false, and that your network refuses to publish. You won't publish that 12 cell phones were wiped by prosecutors. Prosecutors don't wipe cell phones, Jonathan, by accident. Not 12 of them.
Mayor Giuliani.
What the Mueller people were doing is obstructing justice. As we said, they were Democratic operatives posing as prosecutors.
Mayor Giuliani, I need that.
But you don't cover it, so your listeners never hear that.
I'm not covering conspiracy theories. I'm not covering lies. Mayor Giuliani, I just want to end.
But you decide.
I want to end.
What's lies and conspiracy theories.
I'm going to end this interview.
Your viewers should get to decide that. Not from your biased Democratic point of view, Jonathan.
Mayor Giuliani,
that's not right to the American